And I don't want y'all to think I'm lying or anything. I got 4,000 that I made in 3 months right here. So, anyways, we finna get into this, man. Realistically, this advice will work for from adults, teens, anyone really, but this is really how you can start making big money, like as a teen mainly, but you can definitely apply it to as an adult. But first topic is, should teens focus on making money or building skills? You know, I feel a lot of people chase money too early. So like if you can learn a skill that's actually valuable, the money usually follows. And what I mean by that is like, for example, let's say like marketing or public speaking. Free BJack ebook. Nah, for real. I'm playing y'all on game for real. Most people will make y'all pay like a little course. Nah, gang, this is free sauce. But yeah, skills like public speaking, marketing, sales code and code talking, stuff like that, and pitching like marketing ideas and strategies to people. W put on, I'm trying to tell folks. But yeah, these are like strategies that can like help you. It's like long term, feel me? If someone gave you like $1,000 today, you'd probably spend it. But if someone gave you a skill that makes like over 1,000, like 1,000, if someone gives you a skill that makes 1,000 every month, some people would probably take that 1,000. If it's right there in front of you, cash right there, some people would take the 1,000. I always question that. Like I always never understood why. Because to me, a lot of problems like that people have nowadays is they want immediate success instead of long term. So it's like most people would act like they want the long term money, like because it sounds logical, right? It sounds smart. Yo, what's up, Crumbs? Now I'm trying to put people on. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, Crumbs, I'm trying to teach teens how to like really get long term motion instead of short term. But yeah, look, most people would act like they want the long term money because it sounds correct. It sounds right. But if the cash was right there in front of them, they'd bite the cheese. And I always ask them why. Why, when you can take time and learn multiple skills that will help you long term and make like 10x that money down the road? 10x the money you'd make working a 9 to 5, you feel me? Because the truth is, nobody truly becomes rich just working a 9 to 5 only. Keyword is only. Most people, they come up like most millionaires and billionaires, they have investments or own a company or yeah, mainly they own a company or they have investments. Aside from athletes, most millionaires and billionaires are like that. So that's why like when peers are like people around me when they're telling me, "Oh yeah, I'm working at Subway, Publix, all these other places," I'm I'm like I'm like, "Why?" Because other than immediate money, you gain nothing from doing that as a teen. Kind of leads me to my next point, which is, why do teens never make money? And I think this is because I don't exactly think they're lazy. A lot of people just say, "Oh, they're lazy." I don't think they're lazy. I think a lot of people are scared to like look stupid, like stupid. I wouldn't say they are stupid, but they scared to look stupid. They don't want to post their first video because it might get 20 views. People might start laughing at them, yada yada yada. Feel me? But every successful person started at the same place as a beginner. People doubted them at first, and people laughed. Nobody skips that part. Like everybody has to go through that to make big money. To make big money, you must take big risks. And honestly, that starts with doing research. You feel me? I'd never recommend someone to go start a business without doing research. I promise. Me personally, I go by the acronym START. S, study the market. T, test your idea. A, adjust based on your like the feedback clients and customers give. R, repeat what works. And T, trust the process. You need to do all these steps to be successful. Even if it's in different variants, you need to do every single step to be successful. For example, I started off this year, 2026, doing photography and videography, right? But before asking my parents for the gear, I studied the demand of my photographers, like of people needing pictures and videos in the area. You know, I seen that like everyone really needs photographers, whether it's sports, business, or lifestyle, right? So yeah, and I live in Atlanta, so it's like everywhere. There's big opportunities everywhere. So I'm like, oh yeah, I could definitely get started on this. I'll start doing my research. I started thinking that gear started moving. But yeah, I moved and got like I got some cheap photography gear from my parents. And also, when you're asking your parents for stuff, don't just say, "Oh, can you give me this?" You got to make it seem like it's an investment for them, you know? Like they benefit of getting this for you. You feel me? Everybody just be asking, no, how can it benefit them? Because if someone's asking me for something, I'm gonna ask how it benefits me, right? So you always got to keep that same approach, no matter who you're asking, but especially your parents. Especially if they say no the first time, you gotta make it seem like it's an investment. W's in the chat. But yeah, I had like I started like I had my first spring game in May for football, right? And I had over 20 clients in just one day on one team. Let alone one day, but one team. Feel me? So it was like I was like that was the real eye-opening experience. I'm like, oh yeah. And then I'm charging only $10 because I'm trying to see like who's trying to like pay for, who's trying to actually get the pictures. I asked for their feedback after I sent the pictures too, right? So after they I sent the pictures, they told me they liked them, and if they told me they seen something wrong with a picture, I would fix it. You know, I first don't forget I started off S studying the market. T I tested the idea by getting some cheap gear and shooting for cheap. A I'm adjusting based off the feedback they gave me on the pictures. And R I'm still on R&T right now. I'm still repeating what works. Whatever they like, I keep going. I keep doing those types of pictures. And then T, I'm trusting the process still every day. Every time I go to a shoot, R is repeat what works. T is trust the process. And that can be applied like everything, I promise. And even then, I also do reselling, right? Reselling another idea. Yeah, I promise, Crumbs, I'm on that. I promise you, I'm on that. I resell. I'm trying to tell you, I resell. I got AirPods, clothes, all that. Repeat what works and trust the process. Exactly. You're going to stay on the R&T step forever. But STA, those are like the beginner to middle steps. You feel me? But yeah, I resell too. So even with like, yeah, STA is the core. You get to R&T after you do STA. You feel me? But like I was saying, I resell too, right? So first I had to study the market. I had to see, ooh, what are people buying around me? I seen people was buying Mad Spider hoodies, AirPods, stuff like that, right? I tested the idea. I got one pair of AirPods. I put it on Facebook Marketplace. I seen, ooh, how fast does this sell? It sold really fast for me. So I'm like, oh yeah. I just kept going. A, I didn't. I would get feedback about how good or bad they were. Like my first pair I ordered, they weren't the best, but I found better vendors. So then I ended up getting better products. And then R&T, I still do it. I still keep buying. Look, you gotta have a valid vendor. Exactly. That's where A came into place. People were telling me if it was good product or bad product. You feel me? Or I just keep repeat buying whatever is working, whatever is high demand. I keep buying, and T, I'm still trusting the process every single day. All right, I'm gonna ask y'all. What's the biggest thing holding y'all back, like from really getting to where you want to get economically? What's holding y'all back? School, low key. Nah, I feel that because crumbs. You're in college, correct? If you're in college, definitely takes up way more time than a high school, like a student in high school. So I mean, obviously, there's gonna be times where you're gonna like there's not enough time for it. But there's definitely businesses out there where you can hire people to work for you while you really don't have to do anything. You teach them the script, like you research, you teach them the script, and then you really just sit back, you run it, and then you're taking the income. You might distribute it a little bit, but at the end of the day, you're still the head boss. You getting the most profit, so it's like, yeah, majoring in healthcare, they make good money in the future. Nah, I hear that. I hear that. You definitely going like make a lot of money in healthcare, but I feel like to reach that next step, you gotta start a business. It doesn't have to be immediately. Like, don't think you have to start doing this immediately. All of this takes time. You gotta research, know what's good, know what's bad, know what works and what doesn't. It could be long term, like we were talking about. It could be long term. It doesn't have to be right now. You're too busy right now. That's cool, but you can start researching. You can start seeing. Feel me? That's gonna lead me to my next topic. Is social media slash AI helping us or hurting us? The phone can either waste 5 hours like of your day or make you $1,000. The same app that people scroll on every day, like TikTok for example, they scroll on every day, just brain rotting, bed rotting. Feel me? You can use that same app to market, right? You could throw ideas out there, like you can post stuff that's gonna end up making you money pretty much. Like that'll get it out there so people can see it. It's in front of their eyes. They're seeing it. You feel me? It's not like the phone's not good or bad. It's really just how do you use it. It depends on how you use it. For instance, like touching back on the topic that researching is, I like the researching idea is productive. Like if you're researching on your phone, that's productive. Many people like do this and like I feel like a lot of people research on their phone, but they never ever use it or apply it. It's just sitting there in their brain, just thinking, and they keep going on to more and more videos, but they don't like know, like they don't apply it straight up like that. They don't apply it. But yeah, you gotta like you gotta dig deeper. Once you find something that even turns your head, you gotta dig deeper. You know, see why it was successful or why it wasn't. See what was wrong with it or what was good about it. You feel me? You gotta find jobs. Like another thing is about just debatable about AI. Is it good or bad? Blah blah blah. Right? Honestly, it's up to us if AI is good or bad. Yes, it's starting to take jobs as we see in everyday life, right? Electronics, all that, right? But it's up to us to find niches and jobs that can't be replaced by AI. You feel me? You find things that can't be replaced by AI and use AI to your advantage. So you're reversing it. You feel me? So such as like researching, finding marketing ideas, and now even creating things because AI can now create websites, which is crazy and stuff like that. Like nowadays, there's so many ways to make money. Like for example, running an AI marketing agency. You feel me? The most work you really do is code calling and making the right marketing pitch, which even you can ask AI, oh yeah, what should I say to this business that I want to make a website for and them to pay me. So yeah, you gotta find jobs that like can't be replaced by AI, but use them to your advantage. You feel me? Like they can even tell you what to say to these businesses. You know, the most you really do is cold calling stuff like that, and you're not like you can't entirely rely on AI. You feel me? You can't. You entirely rely on AI. It's just like it's not smart. It's not right. So like you can still learn and then apply and carry on business independently. You feel me? So even if AI stops randomly for some reason, stops working today, you'd still be fine just making money and running your business just properly. Next topic is what would you do if what would I do if I had to make $1,000 this month? Now, this is something I think about a lot because making your first thousand changes the way you look at money. You stop asking, how do I get money? And you start asking, how do I create value? I think a lot of people miss out opportunities because they're waiting for one big break. They want the easiest thing. How can I make this right now? Yes, you want to know how to make it right now, but they want to skip all the steps. You feel me? Just get right to the money. No, you have to go through the process. And I think a lot of people miss out opportunities because they're not consistent. You feel me? You know, the advantage of like being a smaller business is they want to keep going every day. You know, they're not going to say, oh, I made this much yesterday. I'm good today. I don't need to do anything. No, they keep going every day, and that is very important. I don't think you should ever like let opportunity pass you. For instance, since you're a teen, likely if you're watching this video, right? If you're a teen, like someone asks you to cut their grass for $50, go do it. Let's say you're sitting at home probably, right? Not doing anything. Go cut the grass. Go walk the dog. Go do anything possible to go make that free money. Because that, in my opinion, is free money. You're doing a simple task for money. You never want to pass out on those ideas and opportunities if you're just trying to make money right then and there. But I feel like you don't need years to learn a skill that can make you big money in the long term. Like writing marketing emails, building simple websites with AI, creating AI chatbots, learning sales, or making basic automations can be all learned faster than people think if you're consistent. One business model I've been looking into is an AI marketing agency because a lot of small businesses that I know, AI is very useful, like I was saying before. But like you might not know how to use it effectively. If you can help businesses save time, get more customers, you know, or improve their marketing, you're providing real value, and that's what people pay for. I think the people who make the money consistently aren't always the smartest. They're usually the ones who recognize opportunities and prepare to act on them just simply by using AI. You know, every skill you learn increases the number of opportunities you're qualified to take. Don't wait until you feel completely ready because you'll never feel that way. You know, even me, I made 4,000 in 3 months, right? I don't feel like I'm mastered any of the skills I do. You know, I feel like I'm just good at them. And then you keep going, you never stop. You don't second guess, you don't question yourself. You adjust as you go, you know? Start small and improve as you go. And let your experience build your confidence. You feel me? At the end of the day, I don't think your goal should just be, oh yeah, let me make my first 1,000. I think your goal should be to become the kind of person who can make 1,000 over and over and over again because you've built the skills that people genuinely value. And I think that's what a lot of people lack. Seriously. They always want it immediate instead of long term. You want long term over immediate. And this leads me to my last and final topic. My last and final topic is what separates successful people from everyone else, you know? And why is the successful people group so much smaller and the everyone else group is huge? People always ask what separates successful people from everyone else, and I honestly don't think it's talent or intelligence. I think it's consistency. Everybody loves the idea of success, but very few people enjoy the boring work that comes before it. Like the long grind, the hard work before it. They just want, oh yeah, they want the money, the success, the fame. No, you got to go through the long road. Social media usually shows the results, but not like the years of practice. You feel me? Failures, sacrifices it took to get to where you are. You know. I also think successful people look at failure differently. I don't think successful people look at failure like, oh yeah, I did bad, I did horrible today, I should stop. No, they look at it as a learning curve. They see it, oh yeah, how can I adjust so I can keep going? They see a roadblock in the road, they don't stop and turn around. No, they find a way to go around it. And that's very important because you never want to just encounter one mishap and then just stop. No, you always want to keep going, and that's very important. And the truth is, motivation comes and goes, but discipline is what keeps you moving, keeps you going. When you don't feel like working, most people don't fail because they aren't capable. They fail because they quit before they even gave themselves enough time to succeed. If you can stay consistent while everyone else is getting distracted or giving up, you're already putting yourself at a position most people never even reach. Success success usually isn't one big decision. It's hundreds of small decisions that nobody sees. You know, at the end of the day, success isn't about who starts first or who's the most talented. It's about who keeps showing up long enough to become impossible to ignore. And that's what you should strive to be every single day. And that's really like all the topics. But one thing I've realized is that nobody is coming to save you. If you want a better life, you have to build it yourself. Doesn't mean you'll become rich overnight, but every skill you learn, every connection you make, and every time you show up consistently puts you in a better position than you were yesterday. Everybody wants the results, but not everyone wants the process. I promise you that. And that really wraps up and concludes how to make big good money as a teen, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman or woman for the females out there and stuff. But yeah, that's free game. A lot of people would make you pay a course for that and all, but yeah, you don't have to pay a course just to learn game. A lot of people just need to get free sauce, teen to teen. And I don't want y'all to think I'm lying or anything. I got 4,000 that I made in 3 months right here. So, but yeah, you just need to take that step, that risk, that advantage. Use everything to your advantage. Resources, everything. Don't take anything for granted. And yeah, it's just as simple as that. I ain't gonna lie. How do you get your parents to believe in what you're doing? Honestly, you have to sit there and have a long talk. I advise doing the research first. So when you come to them, it's like, oh yeah, he knows what he's talking about. And you have proof of people that's done it before and before and before you, right? You have proof, you have backup. And you have your own research you've done, right? You could even use AI for this, crazy enough, yeah. But yeah, you could use AI to help you. And you just got to explain to them why you want to do this, how this could help long term, how beneficial this is. And yeah, you got to make them trust you. Because you can't just say, oh, yeah, I want to start a business, yada, yada, yada. No, you got to have proof, business, research. All comes from start. It all comes from start. And honestly, you start with S&T in those stages, which is study, researching, all that. And then T, test it. You know, they don't even have to know if you're just starting off testing. But once you start getting more serious and you see you really want to do this, you have to talk to them. And that also comes back to one of my topics. I think that was my third topic, if I'm not mistaken, or second, one of them. They're not always going to believe in you. Somebody's always not going to believe in you until you do it. They see you have the money. They see you have the fame. And they're like, oh, how did he do that? I knew him. He was from my high school, right? No, they didn't believe in you when you were down, but you kept going. You didn't stop. You didn't see a roadblock and turn around. No, you got around it. You kept going. So that's really how you get to it. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up this video, man. I hope you enjoyed. I really just gave you what people would charge $1,500 for an ebook. But Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that, man. I mean, I gave you sauce for free. You don't even have to. Just comment. Let me know if you messed with it, if it helped. I want feedback. I can even go part two if y'all mess with it. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up this vid.